Hey everyone, welcome back to Numenera. We've just entered our mind. Talking to the specter here, who's another aspect of our mind or something, and looks like we're in the calm, which means we're not going to be, at least immediately, fighting for our lives. Let us see what is different before I start clicking on stuff. So we still have broken mirror, we have here. What's going on up here? We have another thing. Okay, so it looks like we've only got a couple things to examine. Let's see, where are we? Our main quest is we are looking for another Castoff. I kind of feel like I'm going to need to go and do like a recap every once in a while to talk about what we're doing here. So we have found out we are the Last Castoff. There is an entity called the Changing God. It doesn't actually seem like he's a real god, but he's a really technically savvy entity who has figured out a way to... He basically lives in a body, and then when that body gets to the end of its usefulness for whatever reason, he creates a new body and he jumps into the new body. But in doing so, the old body doesn't just disappear, it somehow becomes alive on its own. And the bodies that he leaves behind are called Castoffs, and we are the most recent of those Castoffs. So we are looking for another Castoff named Makena, who has apparently moved on to become an assassin. We're hoping that she has some answers. We're hoping we've got a device called the resonance chamber that we're trying to fix in the hopes that it will unlock some mysteries. We have a whole bunch of other secondary quests. Some slavers want us to go and find an escaped slave. Pretty sure I'm not actually going to return her to them, but it'd be interesting to maybe we can help her out in a different way. We've got a bookseller who thinks that we stole a book from them. It's likely that the Changing God stole the book from them, so we'll need to keep an eye out for that. There's a murderer loose in the underbelly who has actually killed somebody that I kind of liked, so that's a priority. We have a machine that is trying to transfer its life force into little children versions of itself, and haven't decided what to do with that. We're looking right now for something that was released into the mirrors and the buried crossroads, and that's, I guess, inside my own mind, so we're working on that right now. And then there's an entity that is chasing us and trying to destroy us, and there's a sculptor in Circus Minor who witnessed this creature killing another man who is probably another Castoff, and he's trying to create a sculpture of it, but he doesn't have enough details about the victim to actually do a good job. So he's asked us to find out information on that person that was killed, and that seems like something we want to do anyway. So anyway,
I'm making a note.
Let's see. So in our brain we find this. This is the creature you freed from the Changing God's mirror array. You recognize it as easily as your own breath. Glowing discs twist and fold within the shapeless mass, moving in tandem like eyes. Perhaps that's what they are. They lift, bathing you in their glow, and memory overwhelms you. You are blindfolded. You feel the rough fabric against your eyes, and the frame of the lens. This creature's prison in your hands. It shakes, struggling to get free. You feel its terror, its frustration, its sorrow. Your habitual frown deepens. Even now, after everything you've done to it, the thing wants to serve you. You release the lens and push it to the top of the array with your mind. It's of no use to you now, but later, who can say? Then the memory crumbles. The creature, your mind whispers, stares up at you with eyes like radiant, unfurling flowers. It should also be mentioned that the Changing God seems like he's kind of a jerk, so he just kind of uses everybody and tosses them away when he's done with them. Blurb, says, through some hidden mouth. It's a thick, wet sound, but somehow not unfriendly. You've traded one present for another. That isn't fair. How did you end up being in my head? Indigo Tide has raised a small amount. Agrees, or appears to agree. It isn't quite clear if you are understanding the intention of those sounds, or are making potentially dangerous assumptions. Eyes focus on you, folding and unfolding. You hear a curious sound in the hidden reaches of the darkness above. The throbbing of a massive heart. Memories pulse through your mind, painted with the emotions you felt at the time. Wide eyes momentarily pulse red. The sound dies away. Stares up at you, waiting. You aren't a reflection. Let's see, what kind of creature are you anyway? For a while, doesn't say anything at all. It merely looks at you. Just when you think it isn't going to respond at all, a bubble appears at the center of its shifting body, then divides into two. They merge again, split, and become three. They merge, become four, merge, and then five. Soft light wells from each of the bubbles until they are the colors of the tides. Without warning, the bubbles launch into a whirling, spinning dance, moving too fast to track. As you watch, their glowing lines become a perfect circle, a column, a shape that hurts your eyes, vortex. Abruptly, the 5 bubbles pop, and the only light in body are its luminous eyes, watching you. Blurk, it says, and falls silent. What was that sound I heard when you looked at me before, and why do your eyes change color? Flursk, explains, extending a slender tendril towards your ankle. Let it touch you. Tendril coils around your ankle, cool and dry. Nothing else happens. Apparently, just wanted to give you a hug. That's funny. Eventually withdraws the tendril, taps your foot, and absorbs the delicate limb back into its body with a quiet burp. You aren't a reflection, are you? Can you leave my mind with me? Replies, surging towards you. Instinctively, you blink, and it's gone. Still, you feel the pressure of the presence around you. It may be waiting for you when you return to the outside world. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Go.
Let's see. Yep, that mirror broke when the sorrow...
I'm ready.
Let's see. Am I missing anything? Okay, what is this? Portal's collapsed into this tiny pulsing sphere. Yeah.
On it.
Okay, so there seems to be the only difference.
Of course.
Let's talk to the Spectre one last time, make sure we're not missing anything. Yeah, how did get here? Couldn't say, he says, frowning, but it was probably in prison for a reason, and not just because it shows up in minds uninvited. Be careful. How did other fathoms open again? Sometimes the things you do in the real world can create bonds and bridges you lost or never had. Those bridges reveal themselves here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's,
Go.
I think it's time for us to head back into the real world. The impossible landscape of the labyrinth fades, and once again you feel the hard ground beneath your head. The mingled smells of the world outside your mind. Still dizzy to open your eyes, you hear a voice. Someone is talking, and it's not you. They're talking to You're the blob we spotted in the mirrors, aren't you? Algren says, groaning. Wonderful. That's exactly what this doomed endeavor needed. Another damned mystery. Slurf, says quietly, shyly. Sighing, he nudges you with the side of his boots. What's the word, kid? Is this thing coming with us? Yeah. The light from eyes bathes the side of your face. Grimacing, you push yourself off the ground. Oh, good. We've got a blob. What was that? That might have been a little bit of a audio glitch. A dry leaf whirls past and it halts, tracking it with wide-eyed interest. What do you know about Sage's Cliffs? Silly spins in place, taking in your surroundings before it returns its gaze to you. Slurple, it says, rippling as though you've dropped a pebble into it. Okay, can I examine you? Seems to sense your interest and it glides towards you. Its eyes expand and know they move, drifting towards the surface of its body like coins surfacing from the depths of the well, like controls. Let's pet him. You run a hand over smooth back. Let's touch the center of left eye. It's warm and dry, like parchment left in the sun. Kid, is there anything you won't touch?
Making a note.
That is how I died the first time, touching something I should know. Eye unfolds and glowing ripples around the path of your questing finger like the tumblers of some biological lock, revealing a deep layer of creased tissue. You feel tugging at your mind towards a part of Sage's cliffs you left behind. The reef of fallen worlds, laughter of children and cones spinning. And oh, I remember them. Okay. Yeah, we'll move on.
Thanks for getting rid of Calestige. You have no idea what it's like traveling with her. Though I suppose you've had a taste even from that short trial.
Calestige. Okay, we'll try to remember that. I'm only going to say this once. I'm not much of a talker, but I have questions about your identity. That you're willing to bring me on says something about you. What this is, I'm not sure yet. Still, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'll help where I can. Clear? Yeah. So that's settled. We got things to do, right? Yeah, what do you think of what the cult of the Changing God told me? Honestly, I thought they'd be more helpful. Instead, they're just guessing. They don't know any more about you than I do. You've got my apologies for that, for what it's worth. Hells, they spend all their time thinking about you a lot. They should have a better idea than almost anyone. At least they gave us an idea of where to search next. We'll keep looking. How you holding up? As well as can be expected. What's your story? Not exactly my favorite topic. Fine, ask. You said you were an Aeon priest. What's the story with that? I worked for them for years, but when I came to them for help, they refused me. They gave me no time, no resources, and no aid. They said I had to give up my researches, said I was... He bites off the last word. The Order of Truth and I don't get on. They think I'm carked, and I think they're frauds. We exchange little pleasantries every time I meet them. Why do they think you're carked? Because I speak my mind to them. It's funny the Order of the Truth doesn't like that. How did you come to travel with Calestige? When the Order of the Truth failed me, I sought other help. Calestige was known for finding things, so despite her reputation for being unreliable, I approached her, and she accepted, provided I helped her find a way to achieve transcendence. She seemed so kind at first, but when it became clear that neither of us could help the other, she became cruel and spiteful. I don't know why I stayed after that, or why she stayed with me. Habit, I suppose. And can you tell me about your history? I'm not from around here. I was a local Aeon priest for a small aldea, Orman it was called, far west of here. Things happened, I left. Here I am. He'll talk to me if he's got anything more to say, I think. In the meantime, let us finish looking at the mirror and try not to die again. Use the thin mirror to kill yourself again. Watch for the purple glow in the side mirrors. As soon as you look at the mirror on your left, a torrent of radiant light flows through you, nearly tugging you off your feet. You regain your balance just in time to see the light pass into the mirror on your right. In that mirror, you see a machine aglow with the same purple light you spotted before. It allowed the light to carry you. If you allow the light to carry you, chances are it will take you to wherever that machine is. Well, we'll do that, but let's look at the other things first. Look at the small oval mirror. Pulsing blue star beneath your forehead expands as you watch. Oddly enough, it feels like it belongs there, like it was waiting to be discovered. Motion draws your attention to the other two mirrors, and then you see a very different reflection of yourself. Pale clouds of blue light surround your hands. Feathery tendrils trail from every fingertip, floating in the air. You raise your hand, your reflection does so as well, and suddenly your head burns with the ache of the radiant object within it. Snatch a rock from the ground and break the mirror. No, thank you. Look at your hands, pluck out the object. As you press your fingertips against your forehead, you feel the needle-like tendrils close around the round object inside your head. Carefully, you pull it out. Rising agony melts away, and the glow slowly fades from your hands, revealing a bronze sphere in your palm, growing more substantial with every passing second. So we found a bronze sphere. Let's look at that in a second. Oh shit. I did not mean to do that. Oh well. A flood of purple light streams from the mirror. As soon as you look at it, it lifts you from your feet and carries you into the mirror on the other side. Well, I didn't actually mean to click that. I was just trying to see the rest of the options, but oh well. I guess we'll have to remember to look at the remaining mirrors later. Make a note. Other mirrors. Okay.
Fine.
Oh, it looks like is part of our party now. Well, let's take a look at him. A loyal guardian who flows with the tides. He has might and speed, but no intellect. His attack is splurge. Okay, that's funny. He can heal. And he has no other skills. He has haptic armor. He can protect somebody else, but it leaves himself weakened. Or he can remove haptic armor. Interesting. Huh. So he can basically turn himself into armor. Which is +2 armor, +2 resistance, +15% might tasks, +15% speed tasks. Okay. Well, that might come in handy. I don't even know what that thing is. Does it talk? I hope that noise was just a coincidence. Let's talk to him. Hi, Slurk. Why are you bringing me back here? He does not reply. Okay, let's move on. So he wants to go and check out those little tendril, or the little spinning cones, so I am gonna do that. Because also there was a merchant over here. Over here? Yeah, Prada here. Who told me that she could fix like anything. I asked her about the resonance chamber, and she said she would need to see a piece of it. So I wanted to go back and check to see if there were pieces of the resonance chamber that maybe I overlooked. Because that would be handy.
Fine.
Oh wow, we just left the dead bodies here. That's disturbing. Whoa. What just happened there? Something get shot at us? This thing is shooting stuff now. I don't remember that from before. There's all kinds of stuff going on here that I don't remember from before. Oh, what is this? Okay, so I came to check these cones out because Oom's interested in them, but first I'm going to come here and check out the resonance chamber. Make sure there's nothing that I missed.
Now.
Okay, well, nobody seems to have found it.
Ready.
Let's see, resonance chamber. Oh, I did find something here. I remember. Pick up a crystal shard. It's a light melee weapon. Okay, let's take another look at the sarcophagus. Some of the cracks in the crystal seem shallower than they were before. Also, it's possible the thing's repairing itself. Okay. Okay, we've done all this before. Oh, broken fragments of the dome ceiling are scattered on the floor. Okay, I remember looting this. I don't remember this. Slate black, unimpressive device hunkers before you as you reach out to touch it. The triangle of lights on the casing blazes into life, and an image unfolds in your mind. Towering crystal arch rises over a gray, jagged gray landscape. The air is dead and stifling, and there, at its emerald peak, the image collapses, leaving you staring at the device's triangular array of lights. Command me. Who are you? The command was not understood. Command me. What was that Archie showed me? That command was not understood. What commands do you recognize? 3 lights throb irritably. Heated air sighs from the device's vents, and then a towering list of commands races through your mind, far too fast to read. You rub your eyes, groaning, and the intelligence chortles. Command me. Show me that list of commands again, slower, please. If anything, the list pours through your mind even faster than the last time. Command me. Show me that arch again. Okay, a number 0 is printed on the side. Try to remember more details about this strange place. Tell you what, close the image. Step away from the device. I do not have anamnesis, but oh. I could have sworn that I slept since I used this last. Apparently I was wrong. Okay, so show me that arch again. And we're going to try to use anamnesis to remember more details. Oh, which I have a 100% chance of doing. Yay! Memory blossoms. You stand before the arch, eyeing the last 2 active cells and the once impenetrable Lugum bow. Unleash cell 29, you say, and the twisted artifact appears before you. You claim it with a faint smile, watching the light fade from the cell far above. You flinch from the memory, and it falls apart as you raise your eyes to the arch as it is now. Cell 29 is dark now, only cell 0 remains. Close the image. Unleash the contents of cell 0. Cell 0 will now be unleashed. Please be advised that the object you are about to receive is completely safe. Use no caution whatsoever. I don't like this machine and I do not trust it. Warning, all cells are now vacant. Shuddering Lugum bow.
I'm going.
I really don't like, It's funny, the Changing God is a bit of a jerk, and it seems like a lot of his machines that he creates are kind of jerky, too. Let's see. Well, I think that might be it. Let's see, what did we just get? We got a few things. We got a globe of rule. The 7th globe clearly depicts an unknown world. The more you look at it, the more details you discover, as if the globe somehow enhances and concentrates your vision as you examine it. Oh, no, I don't want to examine it, or discard it. An anise fish, crossbow, crystalline shard, +2 damage. It's just a light weapon. And I do not want to equip it. Bronze sphere. Wait. Yeah, this is what we just found inside. Its surface is covered in interlocking spirals. So what was the other thing we just got? This is it. Unstable detonation. Deals 6 energy damage, 4 physical damage to all characters in range. Consumes an action. It's an explosive. Okay. Great. So we got like a grenade. Can you just keep that blob away from me? You really don't like that thing, do you? What do you think of I would like it better if I understood it. What if we do something it doesn't like? What then? Circ. Yeah, like that makes me feel better.
Fine.
It's funny. Okay, so let's go talk to these 3 swirling cones and see if we can find out more about
I'm ready.
The cones have not stopped whirling around each other. Perhaps they never will. You see reflection in their gleaming surfaces as they dance, and you can't look away. Roarn, a voice says, in the space between the cones, and your vision blurs and goes dark. The moon hangs over you, but it's not the one you recognize. It's black and in a pearl-white sky. Thick, flat asteroids orbit it like petals in the wind, and the air smells of scorched hair and grief. You feel questing tendrils at your ankle, and you turn. It's cowering at your feet. Comfort You kneel, offering your hand to and it folds tendrils around your palm, shaking. You close your fist around them. It seems like the right thing to do. Then you sense movement above you in the pale sky. At first glance, it seems like a hole in the air, dark as the void above, but no. Bruised light pours from the hole, folding into the suggestion of a hooded figure, vast as planets. Sorrow, it is here and it sees you. The shadow of it races across the land, a wall of black like a tidal wave. Tugs at you again, and you fall back through the land itself, into light, into daylight. Wavering on your feet, you open your eyes, unaware that you'd closed them. The cones continue their merry dance as if nothing had happened. You look down at Let's see, why does Sorrow want to kill me? What have I done to it? Was any of that real, or was it something you made up for me to see alone? Could the Sorrow have killed me just then in the vision? Could I have killed it? Were you really there with me? Let's see, was any of that real? Okay, why does the Sorrow want to kill me? What have I done to it? Doesn't reply. Its gaze lifts to the dancing cones and it stays there for a long moment. Okay, were you really there with me? Glurk. Mutters, tracing a ring within a ring on the ground with its absent tendril. It looks at you through you. Its eyes are circles, but the surfaces of them are textured and bent, like a page of paper folded into 1,000 shapes. As you watch, a ripple spills from their center, a flower unfurling, and then something unfolds in your gut, and eyes gleam. You sense there's more wants to show you, but you should finish inspecting these spinning cones first. Okay, watch them for patterns. Who are you? Leave the cones alone. Okay, perhaps I need to inspect the creature's eyes again. Okay. I want to examine you again. Lay your hands on eyes. Tidal affinity. You lay the tips of your fingers on upturned eyes. Cilia spiral from your touch, and spinning, curling paths oddly reminiscent of the dancing of the cones of the reef. When these paths intersect, a jolt shudders up your arms, building up a much folded memory before your eyes, layer by layer. This is not your sire's mare. No, it is locked in those glowing eyes until you freed it. It is dizzying, nauseating, barely comprehensible. It is a memory gathered with organs you don't have, etched into the strands and the folds of eyes by grief, by agony. Distantly, your teeth dig into your lip as you concentrate, trying to translate its experience into something you understand. Lean on for support. Gasping, you fall towards hands outstretched into the dizzying vortex of sensation and memory. You see the changing God in his countless bodies in an instant that spans centuries. You feel the experiments he performs to extract your secrets. Feel the wounds opening, tearing, closing over and over again. You speak, you plead. If he can hear you, he gives no sign. Not once in a millennia of torment does he acknowledge your voice. With a shout, you pull your hands from eyes streaming, choking, struggling for air. You find your breath and wipe the stinging tears from your face. is looking up at you, waiting, its eyes collapsing, bearing the secrets you learned beneath layer upon layer of cilia. See, you were a prisoner for centuries. You're that old. He stares at you, his eyes unfolding, unraveling, making a sound. The longer you stare, the deeper those eyes seem. They're not flat discs, but holes, pits, deeper than body should be able to contain. There is pain in those depths and memories longer than human lifetimes. You jerk your gaze away. Must be strong to have survived what the changing god put you through. He must have had a reason to do what he did with you. What was it? Tell me what he learned from you. Tell me now. Well, I'm not going to do that one. Must have had a reason to do that. I don't know. Maybe he's just a jerk. You must be strong to have survived what the changing god put you through. The shivering tendril traces a single short line on the ground, then it looks up at you with eyes flickering and folding.
I'll remember that.
It says, as the tendrils wrap around your wrist, pulling your hand down, slipping between your fingers until they are spread to its satisfaction. Beneath each finger, a light blooms, one for each finger, one for each tide. Larak, concludes releasing your wrist. If the changing god was so cruel to you, why are you helping me? Without looking at you, it traces two circles on the ground side by side, with quick sweeps of the tendril. Okay, pet him again. You pat again. Let's see, I have other questions. Let's talk about our companions. I'm curious, what do you think of Algern? Pointedly turns away, drawing a segmented rectangle on the ground, beside it with an arched tendril. Yeah, well, feeling's probably mutual. Not that I have any idea what you're saying. Okay, that's funny. Okay, let's get out of here then. Okay, so now I want to go head back to the underbelly and go talk to Mapper, because he needed to know what the location of the Changing God's laboratory, where we found here. And oh, actually, let's talk to Prada, since I've got that item now. And then we'll go talk to Mapper. There we go. Hey, Prada. Let's see. I want to talk to you. Are you sure you can't help me fix something? Quadruple sure. Are you sure you can't help me fix something? Wait. Oh, shoot. I could have sworn that earlier she said that if I found something from the, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But I thought she told me that if I found something...
You've got it.
If I found something from the resonance chamber, she might be able to help me. Apparently I'm remembering that wrong. I've talked to one or two other people that can fix stuff. It's possible I'm getting her mixed up with somebody else. Oh, I also noticed, I was hovering over things. I noticed that this was being listed... Yeah, this is listed as Algern's lab. A pair of gauntlets sits on the table. They look as though they're intended to provide real-time analysis and physical monitoring of any human arm placed inside. Huh.
Fine.
So it's his lab, but apparently, I don't know. Maybe it's only if you don't have him in your party that he'll, that's like where he works, I guess. Have you found it yet? Do you see With new eyes, I discover the location of the Changing God's sanctuary. He leans forward, and the blue eye begins to gleam more brightly. Tell me about it, he whispers. As you speak, Mapper stares at the exposed patch of flesh on his arm. New lines etch into their skin, unfurling themselves across the space. He smiles tightly and shifts in his seat. Yes, he mutters. Yes. Here, in the void beneath the city. What's in the mural? What's this in the mural? He looks more closely at his arm and recoils. Ah, gods, it's terrifying even from here. He rubs his skin again, as if trying to rid himself of the mural's image. His blue eye looks anywhere but at himself, and he shivers bone deep. I don't envy you for seeing that thing, friend. No, not at all. He slaps his face a bit, bringing some flush to his cheeks, and smiles again. Anyway, I owe you a map, don't I? He takes a deep breath and says, the White Death is hiding in a place they call the Cave of Last Worlds. That's an old thief's bolt hole. They say Chile herself used it, but they don't say where it is. Persistence pays, though. That's always been my watchword.
Making a note.
There's one way to get to it through the caravanserai, but it's sealed tight, and they never found a way in. But you can get there from the underground, the Sticha know. They've dug there, they can dig there again. You heard anything about the murders down here? Murders? What murders? No one tells me anything. One of the drawbacks of being a drifter, I suppose. No one thinks to keep you informed. Of course, in a place like this, people don't generally talk to each other much anyway. Have you been to the Sticha lair? Are you joking? Can you tell? Really? Tell me. The Sticha lair. Yes, like I was there. The smell. Did you notice the smell in the lair like lightning and dust? Oh yeah, we tell him about it. My thanks to you. You've done right by me. Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. So it sounds like we can maybe go talk to Chaketh and go find Makena, or we could go and investigate the surrounding areas more. Let's just go ahead and go there. Meatmonger's still trying to sell meat.
On it.
Okay, hey, buddy. Okay, great. You might want to travel? Can you take me someplace under the city? Friend of Sticha, yes, no pay for you, free. Looking for a place called the Cave of Last Words. Yeah. It's close to surface at top of city. Took another human there once. Chakekt, travel where Egg Friend went. We go. Alright.
Who are you?
Makena. This is what we've been looking for. The woman's skin is white, the color of alabaster or fresh ivory. Flat black eyes surrounded by sharply pointed features stare coldly at you. She wears jet black hair cut straight at the shoulders. Her clothes are functional and drab. Her cloak is fastened by a necklace of 5 canisters, each of a different shape. She turns a black vice over and over in her hands.
Where did you come from? How did you know where to find me?
Her startled expression becomes a dark glower. A keen blade flickers through her fingers. You're sure it wasn't there moments ago. I think she and Calastige would get along just fine. It's really important to know how I found you. Mapper told me where... Oh, I'm not going to give up Mapper. I followed your trail. Skist. Thought I'd covered it. Thought I'd covered my tracks. Thought, fine. You wanted to find me? You found me. More's the pity. So now's the time to talk. Wait, are you asking the questions here, or am I? She glances at your tattoo. How new are you? What were the circumstances of your birth? When did you happen? I was born recently in the Broken Dome. So you are the falling star. I've heard of you. Sagis's incessant buzzing reaches even through these cave walls. Her eyes flick up to your tattoo again and back to her workbench. Suddenly the device is in her hand, though you didn't see her pick it up. You're one of us then. Disemboweling would be just a waste of time for you and a mess for me. She spits on the floor and scuffs it with her boot, all nervous energy. So what do you want from me? I'll tell you what, this is a good place to stop. So why don't we start back up here, and then we can talk to her, find out hopefully some answers to some of our questions. Let's make sure, first of all, that something bad isn't going to happen. Fine, she raises a hand, turning already to her workbench, already muttering to herself, her attention back on the strange device she was holding. Tash, you scum, what are you hiding from me? So, so next session we will... next session we will talk to Makena and find out, I don't know, whatever she feels like telling us. Maybe she knows something about the murders going on in the underbelly. Maybe she can tell me how to fix Resonance Chamber, or maybe she can tell me more about the Changing God or some of the other cast-offs. But anyway, for now, that's going to be it for today. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you soon. Take care.